Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking one of the most iconic units of World War II. I'm taking you through the entire process of how I paint the US Airborne Mortar Team from start to finish. For the main uniforms, I went with the Khaki. It's the perfect base for the late war US Airborne look, but the magic happened in the shading. I'm layering it to make sure the cuirasses pop, especially around the jumping suit pocket. Later on I show you how I use heavy wash to dial the brightness of the khaki, turning into the weather, salty and pepper look you see in the Band of Brothers show. Now let's talk about the heart of the uniform, the khaki for the US M1942 and even the later M1943 jacket seen in the field. Khaki is essentially starting point, but here is the thing straight out of the bottle. It can look a bit too clean or even too yellow for combat setting. My goal here was to capture the sun-bleaching dust cover look of a paratrooper who wasn't seen a shower in the weeks. Moving on to the second member of the mortal crew. I'm stick with the same khaki for trousers to entire total, consistently across the entire team. When you're painting a small unit like this, you want to look like they belong to the same squad, wearing gear issues from the same supply drop. The trousers on the US Airborne models have a lot of surface area and deep fall. I'm using Khaki to map out of where the light would naturally hit. Even though there's just a base coat, the way applied to Khaki now dictate how your shadows will look after the wash. I'm making sure that coverage is solid but thin, no shellky texture here, just a smooth professional foundation. To break the khaki silhouette, I'll switch over to the olive drab for knee pads. This is small detail but it makes a massive difference on the final model. It adds that extra layer of visual interest and highlights of the most recognizable feature of the airborne gear. Next up I'm carrying the same olive drab over the elbow patches. It's about balance by using the same green on the arms that we use on the knee pads. We are trying the whole uniform together and create a cohesive color scheme that feel natural to the eye. Now we're moving into the most iconic part of the gear, the M1 helmet. I'm using the same olive drab here to complete the color palette. By achieving the green from the knees and elbows up to the head, we create a visible harmony that make the whole miniature feel balanced and professional. For the webbing and gear, especially the belt and the canteen, I'm actually using German Beige World War II. I know it sounds ironic, but a special tune is perfect for that sun-bleaching canvas look that US paratrooper carrying into the field. Now here's a pro tip for the helmet. I'm going back with the German Beige World War II, but this time I'm applying it only on the raised parts of the netting. This creates a immediate effect of dry grass or burlap strip used for the camouflage. For the boots and the knife, I'm using red leather. Now this is key detail for US Airborne. Their famous Corcoran jump boots had a very disturbing reddish brown tiny compared to the standard issue infantry boots, and this color captured that look perfectly. Let's head back to the helmet for a second. To finish the camouflage, I'm using chocolate brown on the remaining strips in the netting. There's a represent piece of burlap of dark fabric. The paratrooper would wear to break the shape of the steel pot even further. Now we reach the stage where the magic really happened. That shading for this, I'm using dark tone wash. This is a secret sauce that's going to take the flat base coat and turn into the something with the real depth and character. It's time to give this soldier some life. For the face and hands I'm using Barbarian flesh. This is a great hill base tone that stands out perfectly against the muted green and tan uniform. At this scale, the face is tiny canvas, so precision is everything. Now that the wash is completely dry, the model looks gritty, but a bit too dark. To fix that, I'm going back with the original khaki for some layering. This is where we start to reclaim the highlights and give the uniform its shape back. I'm not covering the whole thing. I'm focusing on only the races area, all over the top of package and the knees, and the folds of the fabric by leaving the dark tone visible in the deepest recesses, where we create a high contrast look that really pops on this tabletop. It makes the uniform look three-dimensional and weather at the same time. The key here is to keep your paint thin. You want to build up the khaki slowly so you don't end up with a harsh, circuit lines. This tape takes a bit of patience, but it's what gives the airborne uniform that authentic canvas texture. Where we essentially cleaning up that mess from the wash while keeping all that beautiful curve on the shadows. I'm going back with the olive drab for some layering on the knees and elbow pads. That wash did a great job definitely in the edges, but now I want to restore that strong military green to the center of the reinforcement areas. By layering the olive drab over the center of the pots, we are building volume. It creates a subtle gradient from the dark recessor back to the original color. Next I'm layering the communication gear, whether it's a field radio or the phone. I'm using olive drab. This was a standard factory finishing of the US signal achievement, and it's added another layer of tactical realism to the model. To finish off the headgear, I'm going back with olive drab for final layering on the helmet. The wash gives us great shadows in the netting, but I want that actual steel part to have the solid olive red punch again. For the final facial highlights, I'm using a special 2-to-1 mix of Barbarian flesh and peel flesh. This ratio is perfect. Keep the natural warmth of the skin while adding that enoch ring to make the future stand out at the 28mm scale. For the leather gear, I'm focusing on the precision layering. I'm using a red leather to build up the color on the boots and the holster. I applying it smoothly, controlling layers. This technique gives us the leather a rich, deep finish that perfectly replicate the iconic paratrooper jump boots and the holster. For the webby and the canvas gear, I'm layering with the German Beige World War II. Even though of the name, this tune is perfect match for the US M1933 web gear. It provides a subtle but necessary contrast against the main khaki uniform, making every strap and punches clearly visible. To break up the silhouette of the helmet, I'm layering on some German BG World War II. This isn't just the highlights, it's mean a represent right grass at the field, debris stuck into the helmet and thing. To finish off the uniform, I'm applying the final front highlights using a 1-to-1 ratio of a khaki and sky gray. This mix is perfect for creating sharp contrast on the most prominent edges, making the detail of M42 jacket really stand out. For knee pads, I using a highlight mix in 1-to-1 mix of US olive drab and a sky gray. This gives a fabric a warm sun faded look that contrasts perfect with the dark base color of the pads. Time to the ground the model. I'm using chocolate brown tinted with 1-to-1 with water to base the miniatures. This dilute mix is perfect because it flows easily into all the texture of the girth on the base and creating a natural shadows and rich earthed foundation. Now for heavy support. I'm painting a mortar using olive drab. This is iconic US military green. It's perfect base for a squad support weapon. It gives the piece a solid industrial look that fits right in the rest of the 101st Airborne gear. To finish off the base, I'm adding some green tuft. I'm using a tiny drop of super glue to make sure they stay locked in place. This adds so much neat life and color to the muddy ground, create a great contrast with the dark earth tone. Adding their stuff is the final step in the ground the miniature. The vibrant green pops against the brown base and ties back the camouflage element on the model. With the vegetation in place, this paratrooper is officially ready to drop in the zone. Thanks so much for watching the journey. If you enjoyed the painting with, please hit the like button and subscribe for more hobby contents. And definitely leave a comment below, let me know what do you think of this recipe or what I should paint next. See you in the next one. Goodbye.